Welcome, early arrivers. You have shown up here early, so thank you. What you're going to see here before 8 o'clock is us just getting set up. So just make sure that you understand where the questions and answers are, along with the chat. You can talk to us during the presentation. If I recall, we're going to be doing in the first panel, Rob, Devin, Natalie, then Cindy, then Adam, then me. And then in the third panel, it's going to be Blair, Gary, and Alan. So we should all be logging on here in a minute and getting set up before 8 o'clock. So thank you for joining the pre-show. And always, once we're done with our broadcast, stick around and feel free to chat with us as we close out the evening, okay? So if I look like this, it's because I'm looking at the camera, and if it's like this, it's because I'm looking and setting up things here on this computer. So I do apologize in advance if it looks like I'm distracted. I'm the technical person who gets to be the candidate and also support us in the community. Okay, all right. So hopefully everybody will be joining soon. Thank you for showing up early. Hey there. I'm going to switch host over to you, okay?
Okay, sounds good.
All right. How's your evening going?
Pretty good. I'm done with midterms, so that's nice.
Good, good. Awesome.
Can anybody hear me?
I hear you, Richard.
Okay. What's up, Mia?
Good to see you.
They're born.
Woohoo.
How you doing?
Busy.
Yeah.
I said 4 more counties to put signs up in, and
Wow. Yeah.
I don't even really have time to do that.
You guys are in the last, you guys are in the final sprint. It's like the PT test. Like the PT test, and you can see the daggone people at the finish line.
Yeah. And it's not like the old Navy or Army where they have kegs of beer at the end of the PT session. It's more of like, here's a reward to do this. So
I never had that.
what? I was the sad thing is when it kind of ended, they told us that, oh well, we're not doing this anymore because it's now 2000, and it's just one of those crazy things where like, oh, it's because now you're underage and you joined the military too young. That's why we can't offer it to you. So, but yeah.
Who all do we have on right now? Is it just Devin? I see Alan Ellison. Is that? I guess he's on. You and then.
Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
Great.
You're in the first panel.
Yes, sir.
You, Rob, Natalie, and Tom.
I don't think Tom's going to be on anymore, but it is Rob, Devin, and Natalie.
So Tom's not going to be on this one?
I'm pretty sure he's not, yeah.
Okay. Well, Rob, Devin, and Natalie.
All right, I am resending the link to everyone. I'm going to also check the prior webinars that we've had and see if there's like a separate email or something that she was using, because that happens. There's the Young Turks. Yeah, I sent her the link.
Okay, I'm not sure. She just emailed me.
Let me see if there's another Sydney. Because normally some people use their campaign managers.
There's Gary.
Yeah.
Oh,
I did.
Denver over there.
Yeah.
What's up, Gary?
You're on mute, brother.
You're on mute, Gary. As always, Devin's beard foo is strong. Cool.
Right. And
When I finally got to a point where I could actually grow a beard, it's white. That's messed up.
Yeah, mine is my white is coming in a little bit, but yeah, still mostly black.
Cool. There's Natalie.
Hey, Nat.
Hey, sorry, I'm a little late. I just got off another Zoom call that I jumped
No,
out
it's all
of.
good. It's all good. We'll kick it off here. You, Devin, and Rob Anderson is in the first panel.
Okay.
Good evening, Natalie.
Hi, how are you?
Everybody's good. Had a nice conversation with your father a week or two ago.
My dad?
Yeah, imagine
Wow.
that. Bob Klein.
Yes.
I was drilling down through a No Dem Left Behind donor list, and
Oh.
his name picked up, and I called him, asked how you were
Okay.
doing. He was very, very talkative.
Yes, he is very talkative. That's always terrifying when somebody talks to him.
I drove to Beckley the other day. Thought I was going to be there with you, Natalie, and then I got there and found out it was a virtual event. I was there. I went up on the stage and gave a speech and everything, but I was actually hoping that I was going to run into you.
When were you there on Tuesday? I was on Tuesday. Were you there Tuesday?
Yeah. You guys were there earlier in the day and then left. I got there. I started at 7:45.
Oh, okay. I was still driving back home then, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we were early, or fairly early. I mean, I left my
Yeah.
house at like 8:30 to drive down there.
Well, I didn't know that it was going to be, they basically said, okay, you got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
you know, it's hard for me to talk for just 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm fired up.
We had the 4 of us on stage, you know, together, like 6 feet apart on stools, and we talked for 30 minutes, and then they were going to cut it down to 10 minutes of video to air. After, I guess they were going to air the video of all 4 of us at the Capitol on for women's suffrage, that one that we did all in white, and then 10 minutes at the other one.
You know, I don't know if you guys are really using this, but you guys need to understand that if you all win, because you are already the Democratic nominees, if you guys win, you are in the majority.
Yes.
Minority don't get nothing. I mean, I was a state senator in the minority in West Virginia, and it was, you know, if I didn't get the people behind me for medical cannabis, it would have never passed.
Yeah.
You guys need to make sure that you're letting people know that if you win, you're in the majority, and you have more opportunities to bring capabilities back to your state.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, anybody who knows politics understands that.
Yeah. One of the other things that we keep hitting on too is the fact that we're already working together and unified. So it just makes it that much easier for us to advocate for the interests of West Virginians, considering every single one of their federal candidates is already working together.
Yep. Nope, that's true. Okay, Mia, what time are we gonna kick this off right at 8, right?
Yeah, we're gonna kick off at 8. I'll just talk and say we're live, and then you'll be good to go. So I'll start the stream here in about a minute, and then I'll allow people to join, and then at 8 o'clock I'll just say we're live.
Is Rob gonna be on?
We sent him the link. I'll resend it again.
Yeah, he's in the first group.
Yeah, Rob Anderson at Gmail. I'll make sure we send it again, because I know I resent it to Cindy just a second ago. So. Okay, why can't I go in here and send the link anymore?
Does anybody on this call know Steve Hurlbut? Does that name ring a bell?
Steve who?
Hurlbut. He's from California. He's supporting a No Dem Left Behind candidate. He's a classmate of mine from college. I spoke to him this week. He says, yeah, I saw you on No Dem Left Behind. He says, I'm supporting the candidate, but I didn't get the name of who he was supporting.
Huh.
But he's from New Jersey and then out to California. We don't have anybody from either of those states in our group. So I was just curious who he knew.
That might be me. I'm not sure. I'd have to go double check the name. I had
His
one.
wife is engaged with a lot of benefit efforts, so I'm not sure she
Is
may
he a
have
programmer?
actually. Say again?
Is he a programmer?
You know, I think he might be. I haven't spoken to Steve for a year, so I don't really know. He just moved out to California not too long ago. I'll get more detail. I'll find out. I'm going to talk to him later this week. We just didn't get it. We didn't have a lot of time to talk.
I can't remember the last name, but I do have one Steve in California who is a programmer.
He's out near. He's right below San Francisco. He's real
Yeah.
close to San Francisco.
That might be him. I'm not sure. I'd have to
Good guy. Real good guy.
I still don't see Rob.
Alan Ellison's photograph that he uses looks like it should be on like a Wheaties box, man. He looks like a superstar, man. He looks like a superhero. That's pretty awesome.
Either a Wheaties box or one of those pictures that comes with the frame. Absolutely.
What's up, Alan?
How y'all doing today?
Good, good. We was commenting on your amazing face shot.
Yeah, that picture is actually like six years old.
Yeah, you look like you're ready to fight crime, man.
Like you don't even have to rip your shirt open. It's just gonna come open on its own.
There.
No, what you got to do is you got to check out Devin's photo on Facebook. He looks like he's running for president or something.
Cool. All right, Mia, when you're ready.
I'm checking the feed to make sure it's good. You're about ready. So just give it another
Still
second.
no Rob?
Yeah, if we want, we can switch Alan, since he's on and he's in the last panel, we can switch him and Rob.
Okay, Alan, you're in the first panel.
Okay.
All right, let me switch this over. Everybody look forward. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. You're good.
Okay, everybody. Thanks for all of the candidates here for taking the time. I know it's absolutely the busiest time of each and every one of your all's lives, and I want to thank all those folks who are going to tune into this and be able to listen and hear what you guys have to say. I guess there's a lot of stuff that's been going on in the news lately, and we'll jump into each and every one of those different things there. But right now, our first panel is going to be Devin Pandy, Natalie Klein, and Alan Ellison. So are you guys ready to get started?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and start with the first question, and we'll go ahead and start it off. Well, first off, let's go ahead and do the introductions. I'll let Alan go ahead and introduce himself, and then Devin Pandy, you'll be next, and then Natalie Klein, you'll be last.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alan Ellison. I'm running for the United States House of Representatives to represent the interests of the people of Florida in the 17th District. And our congressional district covers 9 counties, from Polk County to Sarasota County, over from Okeechobee down to Lee County. So that's 9 counties in Central Florida.
Hello, everyone. My name is Devin Pandy. I am running to represent Georgia's mighty 9th District. We are the 20 counties in Northeast Georgia, everything north of Athens, all the way up to the Tennessee, North Carolina border, everything west of Gwinnett and half of Forsyth, all the way over to the South Carolina border.
Hey everyone, I'm Natalie Klein. I'm running in West Virginia's 1st Congressional District. It comprises about 20 counties in West Virginia, going all the way down from the Northern Panhandle, following the Ohio River about halfway down, and then goes east and covers through Morgantown, West Virginia, and a couple counties creeping up onto the Eastern Panhandle. And we are here, kind of right in between Pennsylvania and Ohio, and we're ready for change.
Outstanding. Okay, I want to start this off here. I got a question in my head, and I want to start off with you, Natalie. And that is, what are your thoughts? I mean, we all know about Amy Barrett being announced to the Supreme Court. And that's going on right now. But I would like to know, since, I'm sure you did a little bit of research and you understand her background, how does that make you feel, knowing that, there's a possibility that women's choice could find itself on the chopping block? Once again, those in the LGBTQ community, once again, could find, their lifestyle under attack. And I would like to go ahead and first get your thoughts on that, Natalie.
It's a slap in the face to women. It's a slap in the face to minorities. It's a slap in the face to other groups who fight for equal rights and fairness in this country. And I also believe that it's going to undermine our basic human right of having health care. We're the richest country in the nation, and we should be able to attune to all of our residents' needs, and that includes providing health care. And part of health care coverage is safe and affordable access to health care, and that does include women's reproductive health. So I think it's a step backwards for us as a nation, as a society. And it's hypocrisy at its best coming from the GOP. Can I just mention the name Merrick Garland? And, at some point, you're gonna have to own up to your decisions. At some point, you're gonna have to be accountable and be transparent as a party. And I think that time is now. You're gonna get called out on it. You push this through, and we're going to have to stack the courts. You're not going to leave us with any choice.
Okay. And that's one of the things I wanted to ask Alan next is, obviously if the Republican Party doesn't want to play by basically a rule that, maybe it's an unsaid rule, but that the next president would be the one to select the replacement for Ruth Bader Ginsburg. What are your thoughts, Alan, on? Do you think it's okay? Do you think we should do what we have to do to make sure, like stack the courts?
I definitely do agree that we're going to have to stack the courts, but it becomes even more important for us to get out and vote and make sure that we are selecting Democratic candidates, because when you think about all of the progression that we've made in this country, it has come because of progressive ideas. It has come because of judges that were liberal-minded enough to keep up with the evolving society that we live in. As we get older as a country, our society becomes more liberal. So to try and stack the courts with conservative ideology, it's almost like we're turning back the hands of time. And so I think that it becomes even more important that we select these Democratic candidates, especially the ones in red districts across the country, so that whenever they go into Congress, they have an opportunity to write laws to counter some of the decisions that these potential justices would make to roll back the progression that we've made in this country.
Outstanding. Okay, Devin, I'm going to ask you, can you tell everyone here tonight why it is important for you to win? What are, the fundamental issues in your state and town, and how are you addressing them?
Great question. I think it's important for everyone to understand that when I become Congressman Pandy, I am representing Georgia's 9th Congressional District. However, the legislation that I would be supporting or not supporting, voting for or not voting for, voting for or voting against, will directly affect the entire nation, all of us. And so getting those who think like us, those who are progressive, those who are looking not to revert back to any particular time, but those of us who want to move forward and to progress into bigger and greater things. And we've had examples of this in the past. We didn't we didn't just say, oh, the moon is too far away, that's crazy, we're not going to do it. We did it. We didn't say, oh, well, the earth is flat, let's not get in boats and explore the world. No, we got in the boats, realized the earth was round, and now we have this great country because of it. And so it's necessary for us to keep on progressing, keep on reaching for more, reaching for better technology and cleaner air and water, so that we can enjoy, so that our children and grandchildren can enjoy that technology later on. I want everyone to know that all of us with the Green New Deal with the Green New Deal, all of us with No Dem Left Behind are looking to do just that. And so here's what I've done, and this is why it's important for me to win, because I'm not talking about enriching myself. I'm not thinking about my business's bottom line like most of our opponents are doing. What I am doing is I am making sure that we improve and increase the quality of life for every single resident of this nation. And that's why I have I am a candidate. I've never held office before. But so I didn't want to just tell everyone what I was going to do when I got into office. I wanted to show them what I could do. I've already created 2 pieces of legislation as a candidate. Tell me, when's the last time you've seen my opponent or any other candidate do that? And so we here at No Dem Left Behind, that is what we are all about. We are here to do the work, not for self-enrichment, but to ensure that our constituents lead a healthier, happier life.
That's phenomenal. And I want to make sure that I take a couple seconds here and state, because we spoke about this before we went live, but everybody that tunes in on this, channel tonight or tomorrow, whenever they decide to take the time and watch it, understand that every single one of these candidates are the Democratic nominees. And each and every one of these Democratic candidates are running for Congress where the Democrats are in control. If a Republican wins, the Republican goes to Washington, D.C. in the minority, which means they get nothing done. But each and every one of these candidates that we have on here today, if they win, they go to Washington, D.C., and they're in the majority, which means they have far more opportunities to bring capabilities back to their hometowns to be able to help their constituents. And that is something that each and every one of y'all need to make sure that you're hammering with every single person out there that's voting, because it's the math and numbers don't lie. And when you are in the minority, you're not going to get anything. But if you're in the majority, you get a word on what the purse strings. So that's just the way it is. So okay, now I want to ask you, Natalie, when and where can your constituents vote for you, and has voting started early in your state yet?
Yeah, so absentee ballots, our state constitution requires that you fill out an application to get your absentee ballot. So you can still do that and get your absentee ballot. And they are sending those out now as we speak. So early voting has begun, or absentee ballots have begun. Early in-person voting begins on the 21st and runs to the 31st. And we are really excited with the numbers that we're seeing so far, with ballots that have been requested, ballots that have already been turned in. About half of the requested ballots have already been returned to the Secretary of State's office. So we already know a lot of those are Democratic ballots. So we're really, really hopeful and excited to see a huge Democratic turnout.
REMDES.
Hey, Gary. Gary, please mute yourself. Okay, Devin, same question. Alan, same question for you.
Hey, you're muted, brother.
You're on mute. Can you hear us, Alan?
Yes. Okay. I was waiting, but yes, we have already begun the process of voting by absentee ballot as well. And one of the things that we're doing is we're reaching out to everyone. We're reaching out to the independents. We're reaching out to Republicans, because we feel that we are in an environment where a lot of Republicans feel like their party has gone way too far, and they feel like the president doesn't represent their interests and is only representing himself. And so one of the things that we're doing is we're making sure that every voter in our district understands that we have to make sure that people are going to Congress to represent their interests. And we're making sure that the voters understand that the current congressman has actually voted against the CARES Act. He's voted against the HEROES Act. He's voted against hurricane aid relief funding for the state of Florida. And we are the capital of hurricanes in the country. And so we have to make sure that people understand that whenever they vote, they have to vote for the things that's going to benefit their lives. So right now it's looking very well. We've actually gotten out an extra 100,000 votes, more than the actual total votes than we got in 2018. So we have seen a great deal of excitement and motivation, and we're doing all that we can to motivate that and inspire people to get out to vote. And it's all about messaging. So our message transcends party lines. We want to make sure that people understand that we have more in common than we have in our differences. And that means protecting Social Security. It means making sure that the 252,000 people that are inside of my district that live with disabilities understand that we're going to improve or make increases to those disability benefits when our counterparts want to take those disability benefits away. And the fact that we are losing so many people to COVID-19, a lot of individuals feel that leadership has failed them. And so we want to make sure those messages go out, that we have candidates, not just in our district, but across the country that are willing to be the voice that they need in Congress.
That's phenomenal. Something else that I think might be beneficial to all candidates, and that would be to contact your county clerks. And the reason for that's because we saw what happened in Louisville during the primary, where they basically shut down all of the polling stations in areas of color, and basically only had one set up. And maybe it's not a negative thing to contact the county clerks and ask if they are planning on any polling stations not being open, so that at a minimum you could at least speak to your constituents and let them know that they need to know exactly where to go, so there's not confusion on election day. Because make no mistake about it, there's a possibility that you guys could see that going on election day. So Devin, I want you to go ahead and do the same question. You're on mute.
All right. You have to be smarter than the equipment that you're using. We started our early voting yesterday. Long lines all over Georgia. But people were proud. They were proud to be standing in line. And what I was hearing was that they are not going to allow the shutting down of polling places, the removal of voting machines, to deter them from voting. And man, God bless them, because that's exactly why they take those things away, is to deter us, is to suppress our vote. And I've been saying this since December, and I'm going to say it again. The reason why they suppress our vote is because they know that when we vote, we win. And so the last day to early vote in Georgia is the 30th of October, the Friday before the election. And I'm going to post in the chat right now the website that you can go to if you live in Georgia to find your polling place, to check to make sure that you are registered. Even if you've registered before and you know that you have, check it anyway. It's very easy to do. And so you can check your registration. You can register if you need to. You can you can apply for your absentee ballot. Although at this point, if you want to, I would say do it right now, because it's getting down to the line where you may not have time to receive it and send it back. If you do receive your ballot, I suggest that you fill it out, seal it, and then drop it into the drop box. And you can check on this website as well to see where those drop boxes are.
Okay, real quick, about 45 seconds each. I want each and every one of you three to basically, we're talking about getting out and voting. We want to make sure people are doing that. I want to know any words of motivation that you have or encouragement for anyone in your areas that is unsure about voting. Go ahead, Devin. You go ahead and take this one.
All right. Well, here's what I would say. I would say that one, if you feel that your vote is going to be suppressed or that it's not going to count, vote anyway. The only way you know that your vote is not going to count is if you don't vote. And that's on you. Let them do what they do. We are here running so that we can take care of that. But what we need you to do is to go out and vote. And if you look like me, if you look like Alan, if you are a woman, any of these areas where we have been suppressed in the past, where the rich white patriarchs of this country are trying to shut us down, vote. You can do it. If we can run, you can vote. Please get out and vote.
Everyone, go ahead, Natalie.
I'd like to echo the last sentiment there from Devin. If we can run, you can vote. I think I can say that, we are all average people here, and we are sticking our necks out there to support the best interests of the people of this country and not the bottom line of corporations. So if we can do it and we can make it and we can be your nominees, you can certainly go out there and vote. And this is going to be an historic election. Every vote matters. And the more we vote, the more we are going to get the results that we so desperately need. So please vote.
Everyone. Alan, you'll finish it off.
Yes, I definitely agree with Natalie and Devin and their sentiments about where we are in this country. We have an opportunity to change the narrative. We have an opportunity to change the president, and we have an opportunity to change the representation that we have in this country. But it starts with you. It starts with your vote. please get out and vote, because you have to make sure that you are voting like your life depends on it, because in many instances, it actually does. We have an opportunity to win and get what we need from this government, and we have an opportunity to have a better quality of life, a better future for our children, and we have an opportunity for the best possible representation with the candidates at No Dem Left Behind. So get out, support them, and make sure that you get friends to do the same thing, and let's turn this country around.
Airborne, vote for the world you want your children to grow up in. Outstanding. Okay, thank you guys. That was the first panel. You guys did phenomenal. Appreciate it. Okay, let's go ahead and get the next three up. The next three is Dr. Cindy Banyai, Adam Christensen, and Mia Mason. Thanks, guys. Airborne. Okay, is who we got everybody on here?
Almost there, Richard.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. Is there a way to pull them all in the front here, Mia?
Yeah, if you look at your view and you just click on the top right corner and click on view, you should be able to see us since we switched over panels. So just switch between speaker view and gallery view.
Okay, I'm good. I can see everybody. Okay, I'll go ahead here for the first question. I want to ask you, Mia, because once again, the question that I asked Natalie in the last group about the Supreme Court. You know, you are the first female transgender Democratic nominee in this country. And, you know, we know that this could be potentially dangerous for you. I mean, we're talking about, you know, your life could be changed if the wrong person is in that seat and wields that power, with an iron fist. So, you know, what are your thoughts on the Supreme Court situation?
I am actually listening to it, and the words that she is using, policy is what is, you know, what she'll govern by, is basically what our lawmakers are going to make, and that's what she will uphold. And I find that disturbing because in this modern time, that is detrimental to everyone, including those of the LGBT community and especially women of color. It's going to really hurt everyone if the lawmakers are the ones that are talking and making policy that she will uphold, which means that we could lose our civil rights for women, lose abortion protections, and affect our healthcare, and even lose marriage between us and the LGBT community. So a lot is on the line. I really hope that they can basically ask her to decline the nomination and wait until we actually have a president.
Outstanding. Go ahead and give yourself a little introduction. I forgot to do that first.
Well, thank you first for the question, Richard. I'm Mia Mason. I'm, like you said, one of the first LGBT transgender women who are running for Congress. And I have to say it's a historical moment because to be a Democratic nominee this close to winning and restoring equity and equality, I'm looking forward to protecting those in Maryland as well. From Tawnytown to Elkton, all the way down to Ocean City, a gerrymandered district and running in a red rural district that is hurt by our current incumbent who is anti-LGBT. So we really need the support from our coalition to have them donate to help our campaign. I think it would really help us make this a historical moment.
Airborne. Okay, Adam, you go ahead and intro yourself here.
Hey, everybody. I'm Adam Christensen. I am running in Florida's 3rd District. And yeah, I am the youngest Democratic nominee for Congress. And our team is mostly made up of people under the age of 23. And we have done very well. Oh, and by the way, Donald Trump is coming here for the 2nd time in the last couple of weeks. So we're doing something right because they are terrified and trying to prop up my opponent. And it's wonderful. So we're having a good time.
Okay, real quick, tell me how's everything going in terms of the college vote? Are you seeing a lot of college students out there that are actually stepping up and getting involved in the election?
As far as getting involved in the election, absolutely. You know, we don't know, right? I mean, we're probably not going to know until it's over, but we've done everything we possibly can to increase, especially young person vote and especially college vote. It's difficult now that everybody's back here, and most of it is going to be vote by mail, as far as what we can tell. And a lot of people still aren't even registered in this area; they're registered back home, and so it's a little strange in a college town. And there's a lot of different dynamics, but it seems to be going okay. I'm happy with it.
Airborne. I mean, as long as you're feeling good, you know, I mean, that's a good thing. Okay, Dr. Cindy Banyai, I want to go ahead. You for a minute there, you looked like you had a GoPro on and you was doing cartwheels through your house. So she's finally sitting down in a chair. So go ahead, Dr. Cindy Banyai. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, you know what? There's only 21 days left to the election. You got to be everywhere in order to win, right? Yeah. So that's exactly what I was doing. I am Dr. Cindy Banyai. I'm the Democratic nominee for U.S. House of Representatives, Florida 19. I'm a mom and small business owner, and I'm fighting for our water, our health, and our community. And I actually just came from a debate from our local Democratic candidate for mayor, and I wanted to go and show her support in that, and it was so exciting to see her. We're hoping that she'll be the first African-American woman elected mayor of Fort Myers. And I'm looking forward to being the first evaluator elected to Congress, the first professional boxer, retired, elected to Congress, and one of only 3 other women of school-age children, mother of school-age children in Congress. And I think that these perspectives that I bring help to level me with the people, I'll say, you know, being the mom in particular. Being a boxer is going to help me take on those bullies in Congress. It's helped me take on the bullies here in Southwest Florida. And, you know, Adam and I are both here in Florida. So Donald Trump is coming here on Friday too. And I think I'm going to have something to say about that.
Airborne, outstanding. Okay, real quick, you know, for all 3 of you all, I want to ask, how have you guys been able to encourage people out there, especially, you know, for you two in Florida? You know, that's a red state. You know, how have you been able to encourage people, especially the Democrats, and in some cases, many Democrats who kind of are in the shadows right now, encouraging them to make sure that they're getting out to vote?
I'd love to start on that, because one of the things that we've done in Florida that is historic is we have Democrats running in almost every single state race across the state House and the state Senate. And it's been amazing to see that. It was hard to do. It hasn't been done in more than 20 years. And what this does, and what we've done down here in Southwest Florida, is we've created coalitions of Democratic candidates. We know we're being outraised by our opponents, but we are banding together to get our resources, to get our names out there, to let people know that we are here. And I'll tell you what, it's working. We have more Democrats voting than we've ever seen. Vote by mails are off the charts, and people are truly inspired that there are candidates who believe in fighting for them and are ready to go to either Tallahassee or Washington, D.C. and actually put up the fight against the big corporate interests that hurt our state so much. So people are ready to go. We're just out there. We are doing it. We are everywhere. And that's how we're going to win this race. And that's how we're inspiring Democrats and everybody across the state to get out to vote.
Yeah, I think that, you know, especially the numbers of the mail-in ballots, I think that's going to shock a lot of people. I think a lot of people out there that have really soured on Donald Trump have, you know, they're using this opportunity to mail in their ballot so that they don't have to, you know, go face these other folks. So you're spot on. Adam, same question.
Well, number one, we got to make sure that people actually understand that these are winnable. And now this is something that in most places, most people have not realized that they are, and they've pretty much written them off. What's been kind of cool, especially this year, I'll just take our race, for example. We were at a +9, and then we dropped it to a +7, and now we find out that we're basically a +4, and we still got 3.5 weeks left, and people are excited. So we've raised almost $150,000, and our average contribution is $20, which means we're completely grassroots funded, grassroots power, which means the only way that happens is if people are excited. And on top of that, we've made our race incredibly exciting just because we are holding people to account and we are able to actually shine a light on what has been going on in politics and do it in an interesting way that people can actually log onto and understand. And it feels different this year. It just feels like people not only care, but they want to know what's happening. And so we're able to actually provide that. And that's not something people have been able to do for a very long time. Number one, make politics interesting. Number two, make it fun. And number three, get people actually excited about the fact that if they win, things could change. And that hasn't happened. And I think most of us have realized that if we do those things, we're going to bring districts like ours, like theirs, way closer than anybody ever imagined. And we got a shot. And so it's exciting. And we will see.
Hey, Adam, I tell you, from day one, I always said, Adam's a ball of fire. So I tell you, I'm sure you're a
I
constituent.
don't know if that's a positive thing.
Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's almost at the level of punching people in the face like Dr. Cindy Banyai does.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm tiny. If you've ever seen me, I'm 130 pounds. I'm scrappy. I got that going for me.
There you go.
But, yeah.
A lot of people like that. Mia, same question to you, but also, as the, first female transgender Democratic nominee, when I hear that makes me proud that, number one, we have somebody that has the courage to take on a fight like that. And to hear that, you're the first Democratic female transgender nominee, made it through the primary, that's something to be really proud of. So same question to you, Mia.
Well, as a combat infantry person who has done a lot, including counter IED, I have to say we're winning this fight. If you take a look at our timeline and our history kind of repeats itself. The Democrat won in 2008. Here we are with, soon to be President Joe Biden. And here we are with me, and I'm looking to have every vote counted. We're looking right now at 6% return already on the ballots, and we're a third of the way to our win number. So we're still winning 2-1, sometimes 3-1, depending on how many ballots come back in. It's amazing. So what we've amped up and we've done is we've gone back out there to the communities. We've started dropping off more literature, putting it in the newspaper, sending out more mail, providing additional town halls because some of their economic positions have shifted because they've lost so much, including their businesses. And we want to make sure that we've taken care of our veterans and our workers all at the same time. And since I began, I won on my primary with vote by mail. I've continued it since, and it's been proven to be successful so that there's less time for folks to wait out in the polls. And here in Maryland tonight is the last night folks get registered to vote. We've seen 6,000 plus folks get registered to vote in just this month alone. And we have like 7-8 days before, they can finalize to request their ballot by mail or download it, print it out, and put it in we got like 50 different vote by mail locations for them to put it into 12 different counties. I mean, our district is huge, it's gerrymandered. But when you see the numbers like this come in every day at 11 a.m., it is amazing to see. So we're ready to pick up the phone to call them this Monday to make sure that, that ballot that's sitting on the counter or on the fridge, make it historical. Even if it's your first time to vote, you have voted now starting in 2020, and you survived this pandemic by proving to others that you voted.
That's phenomenal. Okay, real quick, we know, obviously everybody has, overturning Citizens United, the opioid epidemic and things like that. But I'll go ahead and start with you, Mia. What is the biggest issue that you feel needs to be addressed in your hometown, in your area?
Well, right now it's definitely healthcare. People are still choosing between their groceries and getting the prescription or finding that job that can provide them that healthcare. So being an advocate for that is super important, that we continue getting that lobby, the committee, and the bill passed so that we can actually provide them a healthcare plan that is affordable without their job being the requirement to get it. I think that is what they've been sharing with me as their story, and I want to make sure it gets shared on the House floor because it's super critical. When you see something that says it is an actual bill compared to when it is maybe not a bill, and then what they actually are paying. And we want to be able to reduce those prescription costs so that it is also affordable for the entire family. This is probably the #1 issue, regardless of what's happening in the other districts in our state. But on the Eastern Shore, this was the biggest issue that was in the top 3 of all counties.
Yeah, I will tell you that, I was really pleased when Vice President Joe Biden actually spoke about lowering drug costs in this country, especially we know how so many elderly people out there are cutting meds in half, to be able to make it from month to month. So same question to you, Dr. Cindy Banyai. I'm always going to say doctor. I have the
That's
utmost
good.
respect. That's a lot of education
Thank
right
you.
there, and I respect it.
It was a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie.
Exactly.
I had carpal tunnel in both my wrists as I finished my dissertation typing
Yeah, guaranteed.
3 days before my daughter was born. So
Yeah.
dedication.
Wow.
So yeah, the biggest issue in Southwest Florida is the issue that's kind of plaguing us all right now. And that's, of course, COVID. We happen to live in a state where Governor Ron DeSantis, he wants to just do whatever his best buddy Donald Trump wants him to do, which is pretend like COVID's not a thing. Now, unfortunately for us, this leads to continuously high positivity rates. We have, I think last time I checked, we have the 4th highest death rate in the world compared to other countries, the state of Florida alone. And what this really happens here, right? And we're about to go back up, right? So everybody's predicting Florida's going to go back up. We've been on a little bit of a downslope at 2,000 cases on average a day over the past couple of weeks, which is, like, compared to other states, even in the country, is ridiculously high. But we're open up. Trump is coming on Friday. My opponent is just lockstep with him. And so what this means is that everybody else is in a continuous state of stasis. They can't open their businesses fully. They can't lead their lives fully. They can't send their kids back to school safely. Businesses are still closing, and people don't want to go out to those businesses if they're worried they're going to get sick. So we need really, first and foremost, to address this pandemic in a specific way so we can stop the pandemic and people will feel safe and we can actually get back to work and get our economy back going. I did a podcast a couple of weeks ago with Dr. James Galbraith, economist out of University of Texas, and this is exactly what he said to us. There is no economic recovery until we have the pandemic under control. And so that is what we need to do to save lives and get back on track here in Florida and across the U.S.
Outstanding. Okay, Adam, ball's in your court.
Same question.
Yep.
Healthcare, drug costs, childcare, internet, student loans, in that order. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. I mean, it's one of those things where we talk about what's your number one priority. My response is, I'm sorry, but we haven't had any priorities in a very long time that we've actually done anything with. And you can't just do one thing and expect it to fix a whole lot. You have to do a bunch of things and hope that it's able to cover the gaps and then figure out what's left after that. I mean, we're literally just plugging holes in a giant sinking ship right now, and by focusing on one thing. And it just kind of blows my mind that we just don't pull into a harbor and rebuild the damn thing. Like, it's kind of what you got to do at this point. I mean, it's not going to work. So that's just kind of what I'm focused on. I think a lot of people at this point are kind of coming around to realize that, especially in our area, we could add 9,000 jobs by doing high-speed rail and building out infrastructure for internet, and actually being able to have family-owned farms again by doing carbon farming pilot programs. Like, these are all things that are very simple and easy. And what is it? Really fast trains, really fast internet, and farms. Doesn't seem radical. Doesn't seem all that hard. Why don't we do it? So we're trying to take everything, all these big ideas, and basically say, look, they're not big. They're basic. They're normal. They're not that hard. Let's do it.
Okay, real quick, same as the other panel. I want you guys, about 45 seconds each, go ahead and let us know when early voting starts. When is the mail-in ballot? Go ahead and give us that. Go first, Adam.
Cindy, you want to give the actual dates? I'm so tired. I have been focused on so many things. I don't know the actual dates for things.
Well, it's for you guys are on the same state, so it's probably the same. So,
Richard, I don't even know the date of today. I don't know what date.
Okay. Well, Cindy, do you, Dr. Cindy Banyai, do you have those that info?
Oh, I was muted. I was talking the whole time. October 15th is the first day of early voting. October 31st is the last day. So you can actually go to an in-person voting location and do your in-person voting there. Vote by mail, you can still register for that. For a little while longer. Vote by mails have already dropped though, guys. So we already have results coming in. We already have everybody registered to vote that is going to be able to vote in this election. We do want to tell you that in the state of Florida, you can take your vote by mail, you can drop it into one of the drop boxes outside the supervisors of elections and your county supervisors of elections office, as well as you can take it to any early voting location and drop it off there. If you do want to vote on election day, then you need to take that ballot, if you have that vote by mail ballot with you, and turn it in and get your day of ballot if you choose to vote on November 3rd. We, of course, want you to vote early. And if you're sending it by mail, send it as soon as you can get it so there's no delay. We want your vote to count.
Airborne. Mia, in your area, same question.
Well, Maryland has a lot of places, and every time they've made a change in the last month, it came out with a different link. So just bear with me, giving me an extra 30 seconds. We want people to vote by mail. Last day to register to vote is today. October 20th is the last day to request your ballot. And I'm telling you, miadmason.com/VDM will give you every voting location for the ballots where you can drop it off. Super simple. Early voting is October 26th from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. to November 2nd. And that's miadmason.com/early voter. And then, of course, for election day from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., it's miadmason.com/2020 vote. And I have to say, we have a lot of Trumpers out there who are going to probably do this red mirage thing. If you see voter intimidation, trucks blocking the parking lots, blocking the roads, or flag wavers and all this other stuff, please make sure that you get it reported, because that can lead to voter intimidation if they cross that 100-foot line. And they're going to probably block it off maybe 1 or 2 blocks before the voting location. So be on the lookout for this. It's unlawful.
Well, I think everybody needs to understand that. When Donald Trump is blowing the dog whistle and telling people that he wants them to go to the polling stations and watch, obviously he doesn't really understand that the only people that are able to go and watch are vetted, they're approved. But you guys need to make sure that you let people know, just like Mia said, if they have to pull their phone out and take photographs because people are closer than they're supposed to be, that's something that needs to be reported to the Secretary of State immediately when that stuff goes on. So you have to make sure that you're letting your constituents know that, they have capabilities that they can do when they see this type of voter intimidation that's taking place. Okay, outstanding.
Hey,
once again. Go ahead, Cindy.
Richard. I would just want to say I made a mistake. I got my dates mixed up. It's October 19th is the first day of early voting. I had the wrong date in my mind. I just wanted to correct that.
This is why I asked you to do it, Cindy, because I
Dang it! So you knew I was going to switch that date up, but
it's all good. It's all good. Okay, so
just to give you a little idea, like apparently in 4 days I'm going to be 27, and I didn't even realize it was in 4 days. So that tells you just how tired we all are and how focused we've all been. So yeah, I'm going to be old. It's getting very upsetting.
Well, hey, you guys got to keep going. You got to keep going nonstop until November 3rd. Okay, now we're going to go to the next panel, and I know I got Dr. Gary Wegman. Who else do we have here?
Could be you and me, Rich.
I think it's Rob wasn't able to hop on.
We haven't heard anything back from him, so I believe it'll just be you and Gary for this time around.
So Blair's not here either?
Not as that I know of, no.
It's okay. It's okay. Well, we'll go ahead and take this, and then we'll just at the end, once Dr. Gary Wegman answers his questions, we'll open it up. We'll just have us a good conversation. Okay, where's he at here? Okay, Dr. Wegman, I want to go ahead. Let me pull up here. I got some questions here. As we all know, this is a very important election all across the ballot. What would you say to any constituents that are on defense about voting democratically if they haven't voted Democrat in the past?
before
we're
I
in red
answer,
rural districts.
red
So
rural districts, Rich,
red.
and I'm running in Pennsylvania's 9th congressional district. So we're northeast of Reading and Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and southwest of Scranton and Wilkes-Barre. We have 4 institutions of higher learning, Lebanon Valley College in Lebanon County, Penn State Schuylkill campus in Schuylkill County, Kutztown University in Berks County, and Bloomsburg University in Columbia County, plus 4 other counties in our district. So we have a strong educational sector in addition to our agricultural sector here in the Pennsylvania 9th. So let's talk about why people want to vote Democratic in the upcoming November 3rd election. Every member of No Dem Left Behind represents a rural district that has a majority of Republican registered voters. But many of our Republican neighbors have said they no longer recognize this GOP party, not the one in 2020. I mean, their Republican values of fiscal conservatism, Christian morality. Does anybody remember do unto others as you would have them do unto you? I mean, let's ask Lindsey Graham that one, okay? And their belief in a free market, they're not being represented. So our Republican reps don't want to own their deficit spending. They're hypocritical when it comes to the Christian morality and are constantly being divisive and striving instead of striving for unity. We're seeing a resurgence in monopolies in pharmaceutical companies and in our agricultural production sector, which is, they're all a threat to our free market, Rich. So our independent Democrat and Republican constituents are concerned for their future. They're concerned for the planet, their children, and their grandchildren. And they're concerned about the high price of prescription drugs and healthcare premiums. And they're all concerned about the fact that their rural lifestyles are disappearing due to families that are based in agriculture are constantly having to operate at below cost margins. Americans have to wake up and address what is going on with our country. And this begins at the November 3rd ballot box by voting Democratic. This year, voting Democratic means you support looking forward to the future instead of looking to the past. Voting Democratic means emphasizing investment in renewable energy, affordable and accessible, high-quality healthcare, and undertaking structural reform to improve and enhance our public school systems. Not abandon them and give people voucher money to go elsewhere. Come on. So your vote for democratic values on November 3rd is a vote for the future of this planet and for this society and a healthy democracy. I am humbly asking for your support for myself and for all the candidates on No Dem Left Behind, or as Devin Pandy likes to call us, the Green New Deal Party.
Now that's phenomenal. I got a question here. You farm, obviously 5th generation farmer. But one of the things that I was very proud of when I was a state senator is I made West Virginia the 29th state to become legal for medical cannabis. Now we have Mia Mason, who is an infantryman. We have Devin Pandy, that's a veteran. Medical cannabis and the ability for veterans to be able to get a non-addictive form of pain management from the VA is something that, I think would be phenomenal, especially since we're sending so many people to Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, where they're coming home broken. So, what is your thoughts in terms of medical cannabis? I'm not asking anybody here for legalizing marijuana across the board. I'm just talking about being able to help people that are struggling because it's going on all across this country, but also for the veterans that, have a hard time because when they close their eyes at night, they're seeing the faces of those that they lost while they were in combat. And I just want to kind of get, what is your thoughts on that, Dr.?
Absolutely 100% supportive of this medication. And in fact, we got to start ramping up investment at the NIH to really research and find out what all these cannabinoids can do for helping people with some of the issues that they're bringing home with post-traumatic stress disorder and variety of other issues like the help that it provides for people with epilepsy and seizure disorders.
Yes.
So we've legalized medical marijuana in Pennsylvania, but I want, as a federal legislature, I want to take marijuana off the Schedule I narcotic list. Look, I prescribe Schedule II narcotics as a licensed practitioner of dentistry for over 37 years. The difference between opioids and THC and marijuana is very significant if we're talking about a 0.5% concentration of THC. So we need to take marijuana off the Schedule I narcotics, because here's where I'm coming from with this. We want to bring hemp production back to Northeast America. This is a crop that everybody can use, and all the markets are right here in America. And the farmers are having a hard time keeping the THC content below 0.3%. Come on, nobody's ever overdosed from cannabis that's grown in a garden. I'm not talking about what can be made in a chemical lab, but in a garden. And so we need to get back to intelligence here. Our war on drugs is an abject failure. We've seen broken societies in Central America because of the drug demand coming from North America societies. But when you talk about medical marijuana and our veterans that are coming home broken, amen, they need these medications. We need to provide it for them. We need to back it. The other states need to see the market success that we're having with our mental health issues with the use of some of the medical marijuana products in Pennsylvania and other states where it's been legal for some time.
And because it's me and you here in the last bit here, I want to go ahead and pull Mia, and I want to go ahead and pull Devin on, because they're both veterans.
Vets. Yep.
And I want to hear their thoughts on this as well. So you go first, Mia, and then Devin, you get on here.
Well, medical cannabis is super important for our veterans. It's been proven that it helps them with their flashbacks, helps them with their lost memory, helps them calm down so that they can actually be an actual human being. Because, our military trains us to go do one thing: kill, 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 support, 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 get the mission done. And then when we come back and we try to do a regular job, 9 to 5 in a cubicle, it gets a little stir crazy that we're not running around up and down mountains and hills and doing PT at 6 in the morning and still waking up at 4 in the morning trying to think that we're not getting attacked. So we need something to calm us down. Medical marijuana is that capability to help our veterans and alleviate some of the things without getting OD'd on Zoloft and other prescriptions and pain meds that will really hurt us and change our mental stability. This is a simple product, and I'm with you, Gary, to make sure that we get this off Schedule I, and it's going to be supportive of everybody, especially, if you can go into CVS and get this, just like you get Sudafed, I think it's really going to help everybody.
Go ahead, Devin. Great.
Yes. I'd like to point out that the things that we're given now, like Motrin and things like Motrin, tear up your gut. Percocet is addictive. There are so many things that are the things that we're given to heal us are causing more issues. You don't get that with medical marijuana. As Gary pointed out earlier, no one's ever overdosed on medical marijuana. And another thing to keep in mind is that hemp has over 25,000 uses.
Yeah.
Food, clothing, medication, so many uses. And it's a cash crop. We have to keep those things in mind. Now we're talking about bringing in money to our local governments, to our state. We're talking about jobs. We're talking about well-paying jobs. Come on, we have to think about this in a holistic way.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. And Dr. Wegman, as a fifth generation farmer, in West Virginia, they finally made the decision to hand out the permits to be able to grow in West Virginia. But the problem is that the average person that lives here that has land didn't get them. They ended up giving them to people that are outside of West Virginia that are all multimillionaires, and that's exactly what happened. You know, if we do this in all these states, in the up when you guys get up in Congress, are you willing to make sure it's not just going to be for the filthy rich, but the common farmer out there can have the ability to get some of the success that medical cannabis can bring?
Let me tell you, here in Georgia, it costs so much to become a hemp manufacturer. Don't quote me, but I believe it's upwards of $50,000 just to get started, and then an additional $10,000 a year. How many farmers, how many family farms do you know can afford to do that? You know, we have to, not only do we need to do the things that I mentioned earlier so that we can take care of our people, but we need to stop making rules that only allow those who are already wealthy to increase their wealth. Let's do things for the common person.
You heard me state, Rich and Devin, in my opening statement, my fear about the monopolization of our agricultural sector. And this is exactly what we're talking about. But hey, in West Virginia, we're going to get Natalie Klein elected. And when Devin and Adam and Cindy and the rest of us get elected, we have a force of unity amongst the new people coming to Congress that we can stand against these corporate interests, not because we have to have a level playing field for all people to participate in this economy. Our forefathers fought hard against monopolies. And that's what my opponent that I'm running against in the 9th district doesn't get. He voted against H.R. 3, which was a healthcare bill that the House brought forward in 2019 to help negotiate the prices of prescription medications. And he said he voted against it because it would have fined the pharmaceutical company if it decided it didn't want to negotiate with the company. And my point is, excuse me, what is it about the word monopoly that he doesn't understand? I mean, a patent gives a drug company a monopoly. They may have the ability to decide how to invest and build their product. But we, as elected representatives of our constituents, have the ability to decide how we're going to regulate our marketplace. And we're tired of allowing these companies to take advantage of us. And I want to give us a brief example here, Rich. Everybody has learned this new word remdesivir in the past 2 weeks because it was a cocktail medication, antiviral, given to our president when he was in the hospital, right? Remdesivir. What you probably don't know is that medication at the hospital cost $3,000 for one dose to that patient, okay? $3,000 for the one dose. Here's the bottom line. It costs the company $10 per person to make. $10 to make, but they get $3,000 at the hospital. And we're not talking about this. You talked about, Rich, about our Supreme Court nomination for Amy Coney Barrett. All right. What I'm seeing here is very telling to Americans, and everybody watching this program tonight for No Dem Left Behind needs to talk to their friends and family about this, because it's very telling that the people in our Senate can move so fast when they have an issue that concerns themselves, when they're concerned about something that affects them. And
lost them.
We also need broadband.
Yes.
Well, here's what I want to do. Then. Let's go. Are you there, Doctor? You're mute. You're on mute.
sorry, guys, I don't know why I dropped, but that was probably the Republicans in the Senate. They probably didn't like what I was saying there. But just to finish this up, okay, they can move real fast when they have a subject that concerns them. But what about subjects that concern their constituents, like healthcare reform that we heard this president campaign on in 2016, but that we've heard people talk about for the past 10 years since the Affordable Care Act was passed. The Affordable Care Act was never supposed to be an end-all, be-all piece of legislation. It was supposed to be a starting point that got improved upon, but nobody works together down there. They're all in for partisan politics. So I support No Dem Left Behind because we're going to actually represent the people we're elected to be representing.
Outstanding. Okay, I want everybody to get a closing statement. Starting with you, Devin.
All right. I'm just going to say that my name is Devin Pandy. I am running in Georgia's 9th Congressional District. I'm your guy. And from this point on, in honor of my good friend Gary Wegman, I am starting the GNDC, the Green New Deal Coalition.
All right, Mia.
All right. Well, everybody, we know what it takes to win. It is you and your community, your family who has to vote. Doesn't matter if you're young or old. This has to be a family activity. I was with a reporter who was young today, who basically says that her mom and her go vote all the time. And then they realized that their grandmother who came to this country never got registered. So they got her registered and they're all going to go vote this November. Together as a team, we can all do this. As a coalition, we can win this, no matter if you're in a red district or not. So our communities really need this to make sure that we're protected in every piece of legislation that we bring forward to support our communities. This is why you're voting for us. Help us in our coalition called No Dem Left Behind.
Dr. Wegman.
Thank you, Rich. Everybody needs to understand that elections have consequences. We're suffering right now because of what happened in 2016. We cannot allow that to happen in 2020. We need to vote out Mitch McConnell. We need to vote out Lindsey Graham, and we need to vote in every member of this No Dem Left Behind coalition because we have your back. I'm Gary Wegman from the PA 9th District and for the PA 9th District.
Airborne. Natalie.
Yeah, let me just echo all of the same sentiments. We have to go out and vote. We have to show up in numbers and vote. And I can't tell you how many times I have been talking to first-time voters recently. Everywhere I go, I'm wearing my mask that says vote on it. And, you know, somebody always inevitably comments and it leads to lots of wonderful discussions. And I am getting so much response from young first-time voters who are excited to go out and vote. I mean, I think they are even more excited than they typically would be just because they know how much their vote is actually going to matter right now. They know that they are voting for their future, and we need to vote for their future too. We need to vote for the future of our kids, of our grandkids, and we need to vote for better jobs, better health care, and equal and fair opportunity for all of us.
Outstanding. Devin.
I already went, sir, but I'll go again.
Okay. Go ahead, Adam. We'll let Florida in the house. Adam.
Yeah, my name is Adam, and I also get distracted by Devin's beard. I am Adam. I am running in the middle of nowhere, Florida, up in the north central portion that nobody's ever heard of, and yet it's a wonderful and beautiful place to live. And we're really focused on making sure that the people around us are taken care of and make sure that we can actually, survive and have a decent life and, actually be able to grow the places that we love. And for me, that's the biggest thing, is making sure that people have a piece of their life back, making sure that people actually can start progressing forward instead of just fighting for survival. And really, that's what it's about. And so I'm very excited. This has been a lot of fun. In case you haven't been able to tell, like, we're having a good time down here. One way or the other, if I get my life back in 21 days, I'm very excited about it. So go vote. Thank you all. Have a good night.
All right, Alan.
Our nation is suffering, divided, and dying, and it's all because we have failed leadership in the executive branch and in the Congress. Right now, we have an opportunity to make sure that we can put leaders in place that will look out for the quality of life of all of our citizens in this country. But it is very important that you actually get out and vote this election like your life depends on it. And as you can see, over 220,000 people have lost their life because of poor leadership. Let's change the narrative this election cycle. Get out and vote. We need your help. We need your support. We can't do this alone. We all know that we are actually stronger when we're working together. This coalition of candidates is about improving the quality of life for everyone. And that is something that you won't see from our opponents. We believe that it is our responsibility, our moral obligation to look after those who can't look out for themselves, to fight for the underdogs. And that's what we're about. So please get involved with our campaigns. We're always looking for people to write letters to the editors on our behalf. Individually, our voices are limited, but when we utilize the mechanisms that are in place, like Zoom town halls, like medium.com, daily costs, you can amplify your voices to reach even more people. So utilize what we have in place to help reach even more voters on our behalf so that we can represent your interests in Congress. Thank you again. My name is Alan Ellison, and I approve this message.
Dr. Cindy Banyai.
Yes, thank you so much. It's just about bedtime here at my household. You know, it's that's the life of a mom. But you know what? I'm fighting for all of our kids here in Florida as well as across the United States. And I am ready for our voice to matter. And in my district in particular, I am facing a Trump sycophant. And all he wants to do is be Trump's new best friend on Capitol Hill. And it means more Americans are going to die from COVID. And it means more dollars are going to flow into Donald Trump's pocket, as well as the interests, the big corporate interests that keep these cronies in power. I'm tired of it. I'm sure you are too. I'm ready to get back to the America that I know and love, that helps communities, that helps people, that stands up for what's right. That is what I think it means to be truly great. And so that's what's on the line here when we're voting. And it's really extremely important that all of us get out and vote. And I'll tell you what, when you vote, when the people vote, Democrats win. They are banking on our complacency. So we have to get out. We have to make sure that everybody knows that their voice matters. And that means vote by mail, early voting, as well as showing up on election day. So I'm Dr. Cindy Banyai, running for U.S. House of Representatives, Florida 19, Southwest Florida, Fort Myers, all the way down to Marco Island. And I am working to create a Southwest Florida where the sun shines on everyone.
Phenomenal. Okay, for all of those out there that are going to watch this over the next couple weeks, you absolutely can be inspired by each and every one of our candidates in No Democrat Left Behind. We had 3 that were unable to be on here with us tonight, but make no mistake about it. Rob Anderson, Blair Walsingham, and Lindsey Simmons are equally as impressive as each one of the candidates that you've been able to see here tonight. So make no mistake about it. Make sure that you're going to the polls. Make sure that you're registered. Make sure that the people that you know that are your friends and family, make sure that if they're registered, that they have rides to the polls. But make no mistake about it. We can absolutely have a revolution on November the 3rd, and we can take this country back. This is one of the best positions that I've ever been a part of. I absolutely love this. This is truly an honor. And I want to thank each and every one of y'all for your amazing answers for these folks that are going to watch this over the next couple of weeks. I'm asking everybody who watches this to go to NoDemocratLeftBehind.com. You still have time to donate to each and every one of these candidates. Every single dollar that you donate will go to a great cause, and it will count. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way. Hooah.
Share and donate.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks, Richard.
Everyone, you guys are awesome.
All
Good
right,
job, everyone. Thank you.
we are clear. We can chat here if you want.
Awesome. That was great,
Hey,
guys.
everyone.
That was really good.
It's so good to see y'all.
Yeah, man.